Look at you. Pathetic. You call yourself a movie buff? Well, if you're so smart, then how did you miss 17 movie magic tricks? Are you a child at a birthday party who thinks the circus clown is magic? Here, come closer. Closer. Now sit down and take your medicine. I'll forgive you for totally missing this effect from Terminator 2 Judgment Day, because little did we know that not only was it a sequel, but there were multiple doubles involved in the filming of this scene, where Linda Hamilton opens up Arnold's head. What you're seeing is not a mirror, but a window, with the real Arnold sitting on the other side. How is Linda Hamilton playing double duty? It's not her, it's her twin sister Leslie. Obviously, the real Linda is unscrewing a plate on a dummy version of Arnold's head. Star Wars. You remember that movie, don't you? No, not episode 1, episode 4. Do I have to explain everything? Well, you're an adult now, so you must understand that those speeders weren't actually hovering over the desert sands, right? They actually used a super easy trick that I'm surprised you didn't intuit instantly given how smart you are. The crew took you for a ride when they installed mirrors on either side of the speeder, hiding the wheels, totally fooling young children and you. Speaking of Star Wars, did you know space travel also wasn't real? Something else that wasn't real was the sandcrawler in Star Wars A New Hope. It was actually only 2 feet long, but some totally basic camera trickery totally tricked you.
Wake up! Wake up!
You thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually could walk on ceilings, didn't you? Didn't you? Don't lie to me. I'm on YouTube. I know all. For the rest of us, it was totally obvious how they did it because we all saw the MTV making the video for NSYNC's Bye 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 back in 2000.
Tonight on Making the Video with NSYNC.
What's up, MTV? This is going to be the NSYNC rotational room. It's a room which is designed to spin 360 degrees.
The room had a camera connected to it and they spun the room. Obviously. Cameras are lying bastards, and slick-ass Hollywood people use it to their full advantage. Like, if you thought that sandcrawler was a neat camera trick, just wait until you watch a Lord of the Rings movie, which used the same sort of trickery to make it seem like everyone is way bigger than the hobbits.
Frodo is pouring tea for Gandalf at a table, and the camera kind of crabs past from one side of the table to the other side. Through camera, at one end of the move, everything lines up. When you move to the other end of the track, everything still lines up.
Forged by the Dark Lord Sauron in the fires of Mount Doom, taken by Isildur from the hand of Sauron himself.
See, look! I did it too! I'm not actually that much bigger than my brother. What else do you believe in? The Tooth Fairy? Probably. Oh, don't cry! Oh no, wait. Do cry! We need those salty tears for a waterfall. In Star Wars Episode 1, not 4, do I have to explain everything? When showing wide shots of Naboo, they filmed a stream of salt, not water or CGI, to give the illusion of waterfalls. And you totally believed it. Hoverboards and self-lacing shoes. Who would have thought we'd get hoverboards first? Not you, probably, because you couldn't even figure out the simple practical effect used to lace Michael J. Fox's shoes for him. They did it in a close-up on the shoes, filmed on a platform with a crew member underneath who pulled the laces.
Our laces, all right.
Really changes the whole movie, doesn't it? If they did it today, they'd probably use some CGI that looks awful, and you'd love it. Anyone who's seen The Thing knows you can't trust your eyes. Anything could be lurking out there, using your friends as skin suits, except you, because you didn't realize that the title to The Thing was actually done with a fish tank and a trash bag. Hey, sounds like your wedding reception. That's right, the iconic title sequence is no more advanced than your daily drop-off at the dump. They had an animation cell with the title written on it stuck to the back of a fish tank filled with smoke. Behind the animation cell, they stretched out a garbage bag and lit it on fire. As the plastic burned, it revealed the letters. Blade Runner is famous for a lot of things, and one of them is that shining eye effect in Replicants. And no, they didn't install little LED lights inside their eyes like you think they did. They actually used what's called the Schuftan process. It uses essentially a teleprompter mirror, a mirror that reflects 50% of the light entering it, angled at 45 degrees in front of the lens, and then shined a light into that mirror, which then reflects onto the actor's retinas. And you thought they were LED lights. Come on. When your mommy told you Santa Claus was real, did you believe her? Then I bet you also believed Dr. No, an evil supervillain, when he tricked you into thinking they meant for the fish to be behind convex glass when he mentions it in the movie.
You were admiring my aquarium, a unique feat of engineering, if I may say so. I designed it myself.
But no. The fish were actually a projection, and when production came time, the fix was in. The fish they filmed were too small, so they blew it up, just like I just blew your mind. And then added in a few lines to explain it away.
Glass is convex, 10 inches thick, which accounts for the magnifying effect.
Minnows pretending they're whales, just like you on this island, Dr. No.
In the Raiders of the Lost Ark, you'd think that when they were carrying the Ark creating a shadow on the wall, they'd use the actual Ark. But if you thought that, you'd be wrong. They needed a perfect silhouette, and what better way to cast the perfect silhouette than with a cutout? Look at those champs, pretending it's heavy. Now that's acting. Speaking of camera tricks, you thought you were so sophisticated when you watched David Lynch's Blue Velvet, but you were probably totally tricked by the robin on screen at the end, because turns out it was totally fake. There was a problem with the real robin, so David got a taxidermy bird and puppeted it off screen. But lucky for him and us, it added extra meaning to the film, which you totally understood, as the fake bird represents the fake serenity of the suburban town. But you already knew that, right? On that same artsy movie night you watched Blue Velvet, you probably also popped in 2001 A Space Odyssey, and since you were too busy feeling cultured to notice, you totally missed that this floating pen was done with a circular piece of plexiglass and newly invented double-sided tape.
Rotated the glass so it floated in space. So you can actually see how pull it off the glass.
God damn, you're learning a lot about cameras today. Like in Dunkirk, someone finally listened to me and they decided to use as little CGI as possible. And they used forced perspective flats to decorate scenes. Just like in Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, flats that are bigger or smaller than what they're actually portraying, but give the correct size on film. Another Star Wars movie magic trick? This must be the internet. Back when Star Wars was filmed, they didn't have fancy computers to do the title sequences, so they actually had a physical model of the opening crawl, which they had to slowly move the camera over. Talk about dedication. It was an extremely difficult thing to get a smooth scrolling effect, and they had to do it once for each language. Another one I can forgive you for, since we were all 5 years old when we watched this classic, is the twister in Wizard of Oz. What do we think? They imported a real tornado on set? Kids, dumb as rocks. It's notable how insanely complicated it was to film this thing. It was a 35-foot long muslin stocking wrapped around chicken wire. It was rigged up to a crane, rotated by a motor, with the base of the tornado fastened to a car below the stage, where the crew moved it along a track. Okay, I can't believe you thought that Wes Craven actually got blood to fly in Nightmare on Elm Street. What were you thinking? He must have time traveled and watched NSYNC's Making the Video, because good old Wessie used the same technique as Justin Timberlake to make the blood shoot out of the bed. Honestly, I feel like I should get into set flipping and or forced perspective, because this technique is used a lot. Well, there you have it. Now you're almost as smart as me. Almost. I'll never reveal all the movie magic secrets. Now you're ready to impress your friends at brunch, random people on the street, or the guy who's interviewing you for that job you want. And no need to thank me. I've already thanked myself.